Howdy folks, I'm Musty Muskox, morosely moving over Maudlin Mountains.
I'm Amber.
And here are more Maudlin Mountains for us to move over. And we're not just moving over them, we're moving them. So let's get started. It's going to be a lot of work. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing a donut that my boyfriend licked? My boyfriend and I are having a small staycation at a hotel for his birthday. We got some Chinese food delivered and I ordered the donuts, basically deep fried biscuit dough rolled in white sugar. When the food arrived, I joked about inhaling the donuts, so he made a whole show of stealing one from me and licking off all the sugar. I'm laughing up a storm when he hands it back to me and then I get confused. He said that he didn't actually want to eat it, so he was giving it back to me for me to eat later. I laughed and I said, ew, no way. I'm eating the new ones. This made him quiet. We spent a couple of minutes eating in silence before I spoke up and I tried to clarify that I would just prefer to eat a new donut with the sugar that isn't sticky with saliva. He said that we have swapped all kinds of saliva and it hurts that I'm acting as if he's too disgusting to share food with. I took the donut and I put it back in the box, but it's pretty much too late. The night has mostly been ruined and he's still quiet hours later, and nothing that I'm saying or doing is helping to lift the mood. Am I the jerk for not taking back the donut? Alright folks, what do you think of this?
No, not the jerk. And if you were to lick all the sugar off a donut and then offer it to him, what would he do? I'm guaranteeing you he would not eat it.
No.
I don't know 100% what his motives are here, but I don't think they're any good. And, yeah, you are not obligated to eat food that other people have slobbered on. Also, the sugar is the best part of the donut. Like, who wants to eat just plain donut? Like, when you get a sugary donut, it's for the sugary and dough mixture. It's not just like you want to eat plain dough.
This is an odd situation, and I think that there is something more to this than is on the surface, and I'm not sure what his motives here are, and I think that OP should sit down and try to get to the bottom of this. It's one thing when you're kissing somebody, it's another thing to eat a piece of food that somebody is like completely licked over.
Right, it's not like it was something that was bitten off of. Like, I understand sharing foods your partner has bitten off of,
Yeah.
if that's, like, not everyone's comfortable with that, but, you know. But he, like, slobbered all over it. I mean, I wouldn't want to eat that donut.
Yeah, and so I think that his expectations here, or whatever, are just strange. I don't think that OP's in the wrong here. You're allowed to be off-put by this. This is a very off-putting thing, and I think most people would be off-put by it.
Right, well, and his overreaction to it, too. Like, it would be one thing if he, like, didn't understand. Like, they just had really different, wildly different norms, and was like, oh, okay, you don't want to eat it. But he's ruined the entire evening.
Yeah.
He is sulking because Obi won't eat his slobbered on food.
Yeah, which is really strange. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And folks, before we dig into these comments real quick, I just want to warn you that some of them are a little gross. So if you're eating food, you might want to skip over some of these comments. And No Throat 8885 says, okay, your title said that he licked it, which I thought would be okay, but then your explanation is that he licked it all over. This is totally not the same thing. Ew, I'm not eating that. The best donuts are fresh and covered in cinnamon sugar. And after it's been in someone's mouth that much, it's no longer fresh. It's not about the saliva, it's about the donut. And 3 Kittens in a Trench Coat says, come on, it's about the spit too. I love my partner, and kissing is totally different, but I'm not drinking a shot of his spit for fun. Same goes for other bodily fluids. Context matters. And Wolfpack85 says, not the jerk. I wouldn't want to eat it either. It doesn't matter how much saliva you've already shared. To me, it's like he's expecting you to eat something that he's already eaten. It's weird to me that this made him upset to the point that it ruined the evening. And Lego Spaghetti says, exactly. I've swapped tons of bodily fluids with my husband, but we don't share toothbrushes, and he's not going to mama bird my food to me either. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for walking out of my own birthday dinner because of a surprise guest? So, last weekend was my birthday dinner, and I made it clear to my friends that I wanted a small, intimate gathering. Just my closest people, no drama. Everything was going great until my best friend showed up with a surprise guest. My ex. Not just any ex, but the one who cheated on me and left me heartbroken. Apparently, my best friend thought that it was time to bury the hatchet and help us rekindle a friendship. The moment that I saw my ex walk in, I felt sick. Everyone looked at me, waiting for some kind of reaction. My ex even gave me a nervous smile of like, hey, long time no see. I just stood up, I left cash for my meal, and I walked out. I didn't yell, I didn't cause a scene. I just got up and I left. A few friends followed me, saying that they understood, but others called me immature for not just being civil. Now my best friend is mad and says that I embarrassed them and ruined the night. My ex texted me later saying that they didn't even know that they were coming and felt awkward too. So am I the jerk for leaving my own birthday dinner instead of just getting over it? All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. This was supposed to be a celebration of your birthday. Instead, your friend decided to play matchmaker with your cheating ex.
Yeah,
Like, that seems like a really odd choice.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know what they were hoping here, some grand reconciliation, but whatever they were hoping, it was not with OP's best interests at heart.
Well, they might have had OP's interest at heart. Maybe they really sincerely thought that OP needed this to heal and move on. But I think that this was an extraordinarily bad idea, right? Like, you can't, like, this isn't the soap operas. This isn't like some rom-com where everything works out in the end, right? This is real life. Fantasy, that stuff works because those are
Plot devices.
plot devices. And yeah, I could totally see this working in a movie, right? But again, reality and fiction aren't always the same, and they don't always play by the same rules here,
Well, and
right?
I get the sense that the friend probably knew OP wasn't going to be amenable to this because they didn't have any kind of
Mm-hmm.
forewarning. And they chose it on OP's birthday, kind of like backing them into a corner. So,
Yeah.
oh, you can't leave.
Yeah.
I'm forcing you together with this person that you do not want to be around because I think it's what's best for you.
Yeah. So I think that OP should dump this friend because they're really not a good friend here.
And I also, they didn't even tell what they were bringing them to either. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not cool.
Yeah. Well, so a lot of deception all around.
Mm-hmm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And No Professional 7242 says, not the jerk. Dude, your best friend crossed a huge boundary by bringing your ex, especially one who cheated on you. You made it clear that you wanted a small, intimate dinner, and they completely disregarded that. You didn't cause a scene, you just left. That's not immature. That's setting boundaries. Your best friend should have respected that and not forced you into an uncomfortable situation. The real issue here is on them trying to rekindle a friendship without even checking if you were okay with it. And Garden Safe 8519 says, why would the best friend still be friends with OP's ex unless she was the one he cheated on with or is now dating? I don't know. Maybe they are now dating.
Could be. I mean, wilder things have happened.
And Intelligent Scar 571 says, $50 says that the best friend is going to be dating the ex soon if she's not already. And some employee 4252 says, this is what I was going to reply. She's definitely started dating him and is testing the water before she let you know. It might be good to find out if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, my husband doesn't see how his work wife is trying to destroy our marriage. I'm a 31-year-old female, and I'm at my wit's end with my husband's, a 32-year-old male, co-worker, Sarah, a 30-year-old female, and his complete inability to see what's happening. I'm not usually one for Reddit, but I need to know if I'm going crazy here. Where do I even start? 3 years ago, my husband, Mark, started working with Sarah. At first, I tried to be welcoming. I invited her out to barbecues, included her in group outings, and genuinely tried to be friendly. Big mistake. She spent the entire time making backhanded comments about everything from my career, oh, you're a yoga instructor? How peaceful, to my cooking. I guess not everyone can master basic seasoning. The real problem is that Mark thinks that she's just being funny. Last month, she literally threw away the anniversary mug that I gave him because it clashed with the office aesthetic. When I got upset, Mark said that I was being too sensitive and that Sarah is just high standards for office decor. It was a mug with our wedding photo on it. Some of the greatest hits from Sarah: she scheduled a mandatory work dinner on our anniversary. She convinced Mark not to take a promotion because it would mean working with a different team. She posts daily photos of them working together with hashtags like work power couple and work spouse. She tells everyone at the office that she takes better care of him than I do. She changed his coffee order and now tells everyone that she trained him right. The worst part, my husband is completely blind to all of this. Yesterday, he actually told me about how Sarah said that our new house, which we spent months searching for, was charming in a starter home kind of way. He repeated this while laughing. I tried talking to him about it, but Sarah has convinced him that I'm just insecure. She managed to insert herself into every aspect of our lives. They text constantly, even on weekends. She knows his schedule better than I do. She rearranged his entire desk and office wardrobe because his style was too suburban husband, and that's what he is. Last week, I suggested marriage counseling. He looked genuinely confused. He of course went and talked to Sarah about it, and I found out from another coworker that she has been telling people that Mark and I are going through a rough patch, and that she's just being a good friend by giving him someone to talk to. We weren't going through anything until she started this nonsense. The breaking point? I stopped by his office to surprise him with lunch. I know, but it was his birthday and Sarah was supposedly out sick. Guess who was there? Sarah. And she miraculously recovered and brought him a cake that said, "To my work hubby," with a photo of them from the office holiday party. She saw me and said, "Oh, Amy, you came too. How nice. Mark didn't tell me that your real wife was coming." I'm not crazy, am I? This woman is trying to destroy my marriage while my husband stands there grinning like it's all some big joke. What do? Divorce seems extreme, but I'm running out of options here. Edit to add, I should have stated that the promotion wasn't one that would increase salary, but his title. It would give him more leadership experience, but it still blows my mind that he turned it down just so that he could stay on the same team as her. Edit to add, I should have told the mug story in its entirety. She accidentally broke the mug. I noticed that it was gone when I visited him one day and I asked him about it. He said that she accidentally knocked it over and then later repeated a joke that she had made about the office aesthetics. And folks, before we get into our commentary, there's an update. My husband doesn't see how his work wife is trying to destroy our marriage. Hi all, I'm a 31-year-old female and I posted it back a few days. I really didn't expect my post to blow up the way it did. I got so overwhelmed by all the comments that I never really responded to any. I want to address everyone who says that this is fake. I understand why you say that, but this is my personal nightmare. I only listen to Reddit stories on TikTok, but when this reached the boiling point, I just needed a place to talk. So I made an account and I tried to yell into the void. Well, that void turned out to be a lot less empty than I thought. Now to why everyone is here, the update. Before I talked to my husband, a 32-year-old male, I decided to do some investigation. I started with his phone and I read all the messages between him and Sarah. She badmouthed me a few times. He did nothing to defend me, but he didn't engage either. She was flirty. He wasn't really flirty back. They talked a lot, and he praised her frequently for her work ethic and intelligence. I didn't see anything about cheating. I checked his email, nothing. I checked his work email, nothing. I looked through our other devices, nothing. I searched high and low for a second phone, nothing. Everything that I found was always dancing that line. Nothing was outright cheating. But here are the things that I found that did hurt my feelings. He has lunch with her and only her every single day in the office. They don't really like anyone else, so they'll criticize others and say, let's talk more at lunch. They're serving XYZ today. He'll say things like, I'm sure if you were a wife, you would XYZ. He always kept it as a wife and not my wife, but it still upset me. She admitted to breaking the mug on purpose. He didn't get upset with her. He just said, yeah, the photo gifts are kind of corny. I confronted him and I laid it all out, and while he wasn't upset, he did try to brush things off. He said that I was just being sensitive and overreacting. I told him that if we didn't have a real conversation about this, I would file for divorce. That got his attention and he sat down with me. He admitted at first that he found it a bit odd that Sarah was trying so hard. He saw her trying hard with all of the men in the office. The more attention that she gave him, the more he enjoyed it, and the more he responded. And the more attention that she gave, until she just had her sights on him. He knew some of the other men were envious, and he liked that too. He admitted that eventually, and it just got so deep. He said that he knew that it was wrong, but he had gotten addicted to the attention and didn't want her to move on to another man. So he indulged her, sometimes at my expense. He said that it was just nice to have two women in a major part of his life, stating that he knew that we would rarely see one another. So what was the harm? He reiterated that he never ever physically cheated with her, but admitted that it could be called an emotional affair. It was painful, I won't hide that. I mean really painful. Like, I wasn't enough. I told him that from this point on, he needs to stop communicating with Sarah and to ask her to be transferred or switch jobs altogether. Now, folks, I mean it when I tell you this. He lost his cool. He began raising his voice, saying things like he never cheated, it was all above board, and I couldn't control who he talks to at work. He called me a narcissist and a control freak. He told me that I had no idea how hard it was and how much stress he had in the office, and that his personal relationship with Sarah helps out a lot. Taking it away would damage his mental health. It got so bad that I started crying. I couldn't take it anymore and I decided to leave. I packed a small bag and I called my mother-in-law. She's the only family I have here. I gave her a rundown of what was going on, and she offered to have me stay with her. I'm staying here and just hoping that my husband calms down so we can revisit this. I want to work it out. I love him more than anything. I will try harder to answer the comments on this post, and definitely update if something happens. This has really been therapeutic and makes me feel less alone. Alright folks, what do you think?
I feel so bad for poor OP here. And I don't think this is I don't think this will have the happy reconciliation that OP wants it to, because
Yeah.
it's very clear that he likes the attention he's getting from Sarah and he has no intention of ending things with her.
Yeah.
And he wants his cake and eat it too. He wants to have OP at home to take care of him, and he wants Sarah to
Be at work to take care of him.
Exactly. And he's not going to be contented without Sarah in his life. So, I think OP has to think long and hard about if she, and there's no way OP can enforce this either. Like, she can't spend all her time like monitoring his work. And I mean, I guess she can check his phone and whatnot, but he could always get a secret phone. So does she want to be in a relationship where Sarah is always a part of it?
Well, I think it's a little more than that even, right? Because he's outright admitted to having an emotional affair at this point in time. And him having an emotional affair is still an affair.
Right. Well, I meant like basically there's two wives in this
Yeah.
relationship, and
Yeah.
she's playing second fiddle to Sarah in a lot of respects. Like, husband is perfectly happy to throw OP under the bus, to let her Sarah insult her, break sentimental gifts, all so he can keep Sarah's attention.
And it really feels like Sarah isn't going to be content with just being the work wife. I think Sarah's going to keep trying to push those boundaries, and I think Sarah's going to try wearing him down eventually. And you know, whether he wants to admit it or not, there's a very real possibility that things could become a physical relationship too, right?
Right. And no matter what, he's actively cheating. Like, I know he tried to backpedal and say everything's above board. No, he is cheating. It may be all emotional, but he is cheating. He is treating Sarah as though she is his wife emotionally.
Yeah.
And even treating her better than he treats his own wife.
Yeah, well, and look at how he got upset when OP suggested that he couldn't hang out with Sarah anymore, right? That's the kind of reaction that you would expect out of somebody who has a deep emotional attachment to somebody, and that's really what it boils down to. He has a deep emotional attachment to Sarah, and couples therapy is going to be the only way to come back from this, if they can even come back from this.
Yeah, I don't know if they can. And I think his comments about OP too are very telling, like when he calls OP a narcissist.
Yeah.
And I'm not qualified to diagnose him, but I'm wondering if he is turning some of his own traits on OP, because it seems like he really likes to be the center of everyone's world.
I mean, coming from somebody who just admitted that they love the attention that they're getting at the office and at home, kind of sounds narcissistic in some respects, right? Is a little bit of a narcissistic trait. Not that he is a narcissist himself.
Right. I'm not qualified to diagnose that or anything, but he may want to explore in therapy why it's so important for him to have all this validation and attention from women.
Yeah, and so I think that really what he wants is Sarah, and he should have picked a long time ago if he wanted Sarah or if he wanted OP. And then that way he wasn't dragging this out for a painful amount of time, leading OP on, because it really sounds like he's kind of choosing Sarah over OP.
Well, he is, but OP's conveniently at home. And the thing is, like, if he hooks up with Sarah, she's no longer going to be just this dream fantasy. She's going to be a real person who he's going to have arguments with, Like, the reason why Sarah is so appealing is because she doesn't have to see him at his worst, and he doesn't have to see her at her worst.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What did the fortune teller say about her tarot deck?
Well, the fortune teller said that somebody stole their tarot deck, and so they didn't have it, so they couldn't give any fortunes.
She said they're a real bunch of cards.
Oh, so they are. So they are.
And today is card reading day, but they actually mean like greeting cards, not the tarot cards. But I thought it was more funny with tarot cards.
Yes, go find a pack of tarot cards and turn them into greeting cards. Just
I mean,
don't
those
use
would
death.
be fun. Yeah, not using death, but yeah,
Yeah.
tarot greeting cards are fun.
And I have licorice spice. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I hope your Friday is off to a fantastic start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on unpleasant surprises.
If you're trying to surprise someone, make sure it's something they want, not a surprise emotional affair, or, oh, here's your ex I'm bringing to your birthday party.
Or here, have a licked off donut.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Howdy folks, I'm Musky Muxox. Howdy folks, I'm Musky Musk. Howdy folks, I'm Musty Muxox. Howdy folks, I'm Musty Muxox. Howdy folks, I'm Musty Muxox. Howdy folks, I'm Musty Musk. You can't say the word
Yeah.
musk and ox together.